Hey Manny, how's it going?
Good, Jake. How are you doing today?
Good, man. I'm good.
Congratulations on Fog of War. I had a great time kind of following the mystery of who is the spy we're looking for. How fun was it to work with Michael Day? I just spent a few minutes talking with him, and
Nice.
after talking with him, I was like, yeah, that's a director I really want to work with.
Mike's great because he's so cool under pressure. I never saw him. He never ruffles, and he's always got a smile on his face. And the director really sets a tone for the set, and I just love that about him. Like he's always in a good mood. He's always happy to be there working, and so it makes moments where like you're running out of light. There was one scene in particular where we were running out of light so quickly, and any other director might show you his stress, but Mike was like, we're gonna get it, we're gonna get it, and we got the shot. So, yeah, it goes a long way.
Good. Yeah, it's not the bubbly personality I necessarily expected to be the director of this film, but I'm glad it
Yeah,
was. It worked
yeah, me
out.
too. Me too.
Um, Tell me a little bit about Gene. I feel like a complex character because when we meet him as an audience, I mean, he's injured, his post-war, he's injured,
Mm.
convalescent home, girlfriend, and there's a lot going on. So tell me a little bit about Gene.
Yeah, so in our story, Gene, I think he was Air Force. He gets shot down
Mhm.
while fighting in World War II, and and manages to survive that, a pretty harrowing experience. And in the injury, gets sent home with another mission to spy on his fiance's family, which is no small task. And yeah, it was fun to play him. It's fun to have like sort of a taut mystery thriller. It's kind of like a Monster in the House movie. The monster just happens to be a Nazi.
Yeah.
You got to figure out you got to figure out which person it is. So there's this mystery wrapped up in it. And so when it comes to Gene, it was just about paying close attention to everybody, from scene to scene, moment to moment, trying to narrow down, who the imposter is without, ruining my potential romantic relationship.
Yeah, that's quite a entanglement there. We
Yeah.
won't get too much into it. How did you set yourself up to be able to showcase the weight really that Gene has? We see him his injury very clearly is an issue. But then also I just felt like, in his eyes and his face, and then you complement that with the way he walks and
Mhm.
sometimes with the way he expresses himself, you can feel that he's carrying a lot with everything that's happened and also with the pressure of the current situation that he's in.
I guess all that just comes in preparation, which I honestly didn't have much of. I mean, I had about no more than 2 weeks to prepare. So a lot of that I think just came from, breaking down the script as I do as an actor. And then when we got to Mystic, Connecticut, where we filmed it, I just sat down with Mike, as the director, as many times as I could, and asked questions and pitched ideas. And, we sort of formulated his struggle together and chose things that worked. And then getting the cane, obviously, it's a big physical element that you don't want to be distracting. But to lean on, no pun intended. It does make him it makes him vulnerable, and I think it's great when you have strong characters who are also have some sort of Achilles heel that could lead to their detriment. And I think the fact that like he could be physically overpowering, but he's got this hindrance, and so therefore, uh, everyone could be a danger.
Yeah, but in this case, his Achilles heel isn't necessarily that injury. It's a girl named Penny.
It's a
Tell me about
Penny.
working with Brianna and you kind of your chemistry together.
She's great. I didn't know her before the film, and so when we got to Mystic, me, her, and Mike went out and had a dinner to just try to quickly, it's like that happens so often. You have to quickly, you get to set, you don't know each other, and you have to create this long history. But much like Mike, she's so easygoing, and really easy to be around. So it was just like it was a very just like relaxed environment, which is great, because you never know. But she's fantastic, and it was great to have scene work with her. I mean, everybody in this film, it's a stacked cast. For as small as the cast is, like every single person's a heavy hitter, which was very, very exciting.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about that. How do you feel about this type of genre of, in the kind of the espionage thriller and being able to have a successful film with such a small cast? Because with such a small cast, you only have you can only throw people off, so many times or have, so many strings that you can try and pull on. But I thought it was done very, very well. Did that surprise
Yeah.
you at all?
Yeah, no, I think that's a testament to Luke's script. It's all baked in that in the screenplay because this is a single location movie, and those what's interesting about single location films, and we see a lot of them is in the genre world, is because like you can place your story in one place, which is really great for production. It's not have to move around too much, but usually that means there's this horror element. And so for me, having done a few single location films, it was nice to do one that was in a house. I've done one on a raft, uh, which was very single location. But to be in a house and have it be a psychological sort of mystery thriller um, was exciting because it did lean on character work and on the dramatic context that was written into the screenplay. Um, and only having this farmhouse to really revolve around. It's a big space. There's a lot to explore, and that was the coolest part is we really explored this entire old house. I forget when it was built, but it's on this great plot of land, and there's trees, um, and we used every square inch of that house. But for purpose, not just because it was like, this is all we got. And we really kind of chewed it up, which is great. And yeah, it just leaves it up to the character work, which is really fulfilling, I think, for actors.
Do you think that this is kind of post pandemic and then also being an indie film, it's really lent itself to more studios and filmmakers wanting to do more of these intimate films. I was just working on kind of a neo western where it was the
Mm,
same thing. It was one house, but
mhm.
character work, character development, caring about the characters was able to carry the film. It's the same way here. Do you, as actors, do you guys enjoy that a little bit more? Where it's yes, there's a lot of production with beautiful scenery and
Sure.
big sets, but in this case, do you guys enjoy the fact that these films now are really more hyper focused on what you're doing, what you're saying, the way you look, your acting in particular?
I mean, I think regardless of where a film takes place or the amount of scenes, like it should always revolve around the dramatic context of what's happening between the characters, and that should always be the case. I will say the unexpected thing about single location work is you get really sick of that location by the end of it, and you start to get confused because you're like, okay, we've been in this kitchen for what feels like a week now. What scene is this? And so, like, it actually kind of forces you, like you have to really like get your timeline right within your world because you're just like if you're in the same rooms. So that's why it's important. I think it's nice when you have a bigger estate like this, and then you can pop outside, and you can sort of go around it because then you can start to get lost in that like sameness. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of like yes, if the writing's really strong, then you're sort of, you're really focused on the relationships, but still making it visually interesting by breaking it up and by having daytime and nighttime exteriors, which we did in this film, and that increases our perception of production value, which only helps, in the long run of the film.
And we're talking with Michael, who was saying that John Cusack was very hands-on on the film, even in the scenes that he wasn't necessarily involved. Any particular notes he gave you or working with him? Because I know in the film, being Penny's family, he wasn't very very kind to you.
Yeah, well, this is actually my second film with John. I love John. I'm a big John Cusack fan. We did a film called Love and Mercy about the Beach Boys a few years ago. And we didn't have scenes together because he was an older Brian Wilson and I played Mike Love, so I was with Paul Dano's Brian Wilson. We actually met on stage at the rap party singing Beach Boys songs with Brian Wilson. That's how John and I met. We shared a microphone. So it was very fun to work together actually in scenes. And no, I mean, I find him to be so collaborative. And there was one day in particular that I know gave Mike and the first AD, Hives almost, I think. We were rehearsing a scene. It was me, him, and Mira Sorvino, who is also an incredibly intelligent actress. And it's a very, very pivotal scene. And we like it was we needed to hammer something out. We needed to fix something, or we needed to find, each of us were struggling for something. We wanted to make sure our character got their struggle. And so we sat around a table and we talked about it. And you see the AD checking his watch and checking his watch, and Mike Day not losing his cool, just kind of like nodding, making sure like we're going. And we finally got to the point we all needed to get to. And we were like, see, wasn't that worth it? How long was that? And the AD said, that was a 2 hour rehearsal. And we were like, okay, whoops. However, we got that scene done in half the time we would have if we would have just kept asking for more takes and more takes and more takes. So we took the time on the front end to really get it right. And once we did, that scene was done super fast, and we more than made our day. And I've seen that happen on other films I've done, where we did the same thing. Like we called a rehearsal, actors got together with the director, we talked about it, and ended up saving ourselves a lot of time and headaches trying to figure it out with the pressure of a camera rolling. So yeah, I mean, if John's in a film, I'm running there. I'm always going to do it.
Yeah, measure twice, cut once. It seems
That's
like,
right.
and then also
Yeah,
good brainstorming sessions there.
yeah, yeah.
Just lead for good success, and we see that here. Fog
Mhm.
of War. Jake, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me and giving me insight on the film. I thought you were great in it, and I look forward to everybody seeing it. Nice to meet you, also.
You as well, Manny. Thank you so much, man.